Though polio has been around Nigeria since the early 20th century, it has never fully gotten rid of the crippling disease. Polio is an immobilizing and a potentially deadly disease. This disease can travel throughout the body and infect a person's brain and spinal cord, paralyzing them permanently. Back in November, I talked about the donations given by Rotary International to help support Nigeria's fight against polio. The organization granted $7.71 million, which wasn't unlikely for them since their program is dedicated to the helping of this disease. Their program included services such as setting up surveillance centers that are enforced to provide good protection against pop-up cases. So, due to organizations such as Rotary and the Gates Foundation, Nigeria has been receiving much-needed attention that can really help eliminate the problem for this country. The only way polio survives is through a human host. So if all children are vaccinated, then polio is unable to reach any new bodies, since most adults are already vaccinated. But due to militants, or people who are vigorously active and aggressive, especially in support of a cause and are ready to fight, such as Boko Haram, vaccinators are unable to go to war-torn areas to vaccinate children. This is why Nigeria had to revert back to their polio-infected state in 2016 after celebrating their first full year without polio in 2015. They lost motivation, which caused their downward spiral into the same difficult problem that they are currently in right now. By having this seemingly unending battle, Nigeria has been extracting loans out of places to help them fight the causes. This is the cause for the million-dollar debt Nigeria is facing. But that all changes because of a popular, crowd-favorite billionaire, Bill Gates. In early January of this year, the Gates Foundation agreed to pay off all $76 million of Nigeria's debt that resulted from the Japanese program ODA, or Overseas Development Assistance, that was provided by the Japanese government in 2014 for an increased polio eradication effort. Nigeria took a loan from Japan in 2014 to help them gain assistance from a strong and capable country. Nigeria has made great strides in its efforts to eliminate the disease thanks to this funding. The repayment was set to begin 4 years after Japan's loan in 2014, which is what has sparked the repayment this year. The only reason they fully decided to accept this challenge is because they promised the Nigerians in 2014 that if they had more than 80% vaccination coverage in at least one round each year, in very high-risk areas across 80% of the country's local government areas, then they would pay the debt that was set to come. The Gates were allowed to make this promise because of a partnership they made with the Japanese government in 2014, where they would only pay the debt due to the conditions previously stated. Since the Nigerians were able to complete the task right before the due date, the Gates paid up. The only reason for how the Nigerians were able to complete those conditions is through other international aid investments, such as those from Germany, since they also gave 120 million euros. These investments helped set up better care units and equipment, which in all helped the slowing down of cases, since there was always someone or something to control the disease. But these things only helped to control it. Polio has never stopped circulating in Nigeria. Even though the state continues to strengthen emergency response teams and surveillance facilities, the only thing they can do is wait until 2 years go by without a case, and then they could be declared polio-free. They are doing this by vaccinating children with the new vaccination that started in November of 2017, which is BPOV, which is estimated to protect 10 million children under the age of 5. Since adults have been vaccinated with the older vaccines such as OPV or IPV, the goal is to reach children, since the more bodies they can eliminate, the less places polio will have to go, and then it could be eradicated. These are the things governments and organizations are paying for. They are paying for these campaigns and the enforcing of materials to better the situation of the disease. Not having polio will lift the weight placed on everyone. That's why many people are focusing on Nigeria, because it's the closest to becoming polio-free. Afghanistan and Pakistan have both had recent cases, Afghanistan in January and Pakistan in November. They are the only ones left who hold the endemic title, meaning of a disease or condition, in this case polio, regularly found among particular people or in a certain area. But it's not like the world has forgotten about these countries. Rotary and the Gates have made similar donations before to Afghanistan and Pakistan. Especially with the harder-to-reach areas in the Middle East, there is bound to be extra precautions that require much more effort. This is going to be a huge project for everyone involved with the polio crisis. This is why they are focusing on Nigeria, because it's one country in Africa, whereas Afghanistan and Pakistan are together in the Middle East. The more places they could eliminate, the more time they get to spend on harder to reach places, such as very heavily war-torn areas like Afghanistan or Pakistan. So if Nigeria is able to reach 2019 without another case, it's possible we will only be looking at 2 countries out of the entire world that contain polio. But Nigeria has been polio-free once before, and they reverted back pretty quickly. So hopefully the extra pushes from various programs will really motivate them to finish this disease.